Bring our meeting to order for the city council meeting for October the 24th of Fairburn City Council and Mayor. At this time, Ms. James, could you please call the roll of the city council?
Yes. The Honorable Mayor Pro Tem Hattie Portis Jones.
Present.
The Honorable Alex Heath.
Present.
Honorable Ulysses Smallwood. Present. The Honorable Linda J. Davis.
Present.
The Honorable Pat Palin.
Present.
Honorable James Whitmore.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Okay. If everyone would please stand, I'm going to ask Dr. Larice Howell, pastor of New Horizons in Faith Church, please come forward, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for inviting me, and I see why you needed this to Honorable Mayor, beautiful soul, to the council, God has given charge over the city, community, and families. We pray now, in Jesus Christ's name, that our Christian and faith will be saved. In your faith. Eternal God, our Father, in your holy and majestic name, we stand before your presence once again. We call upon you for direction, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding for our leaders who you hold accountable and responsible for this community, and the effect it has upon families, long-term and short-term generations. We give you all the glory. I personally ask you for guiding and leading them in everything that they say and do. And please, eternal God, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, give them wisdom and give them knowledge, and above all else, give them understanding how to do the business of this city and the business of this community. We bless you right now in the Lord Jesus Christ's name, and we thank you for giving me this opportunity to stand before them and represent you, God, in Jesus Christ's holy name. And bless their families before I forget, and their children and their grandkids. Hallelujah. Bless your name, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
At this time, I'll ask anyone, if we could, I should have done this before the meeting started, if you have any cell phones or any mechanical devices, please place them in a silent position. Mr. City Administrator, do you want to explain these now? Or
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. What you see arrayed in front of our honorable mayor and council are artistic renderings by several of our staff members in the utilities department. Each department has taken on various projects during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and this is one of the projects in the utilities department. Councilman Whitmore happened to drop by today and called me to make sure I was aware of the amazing artwork that these employees had done. And though one just fell to the floor, we wanted you at least to be able to see them as well as our citizens. Breast cancer awareness is such an important month to raise awareness about this fatal disease and to make sure we're all doing what we can to support those who are both survivors and are going through those situations currently. And so this is just a gesture on a part of our staff. There are others throughout the city. We have our breast cancer awareness walk coming up on this Friday. I invite you to come out and join our staff for a wonderful event to support Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But we wanted to take an opportunity to show this wonderful artwork on behalf of some of our staff to support breast cancer awareness.
okay. Just want to show some of the staff as well as what was distributed by staff to mayor and council as an awareness of our breast cancer walk that's coming this Friday. Again, thank you so much, members of the staff. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
At this time, I'm making a motion to approve the city council agenda make a motion to approve the minutes from our city council meeting that commenced on October the 22nd, 2022. Is there a motion?
So move. Linda J. Davis.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made and properly second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. Ms. James, do we have any public comment?
Could you adopt the agenda first and then tell me who made the motion? Because the attorney had asked me a question. I didn't hear who made the motion in second in the minutes.
In the minutes, the presentation and its adoption of the city council agenda, I adopted the minutes, you're right. Can I have a motion to adopt the city council agenda?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. We've already adopted the city, we've approved the city council minutes that was actually made by, in this case,
Davis.
Mr. Davis, and second by Mr. Heath, and the motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay? At this time, do we have any people here for public comment?
Well, actually, Dr. and Mrs. Howell signed up, and I didn't know if you really wanted to speak or you would just sign it. Okay, so we don't have any speakers from here.
Okay? We don't have any speakers.
Who wants to
Yeah.
So we have
Go
one
ahead, ma'am.
speaker.
Good evening.
Good evening.
When you're married to a preacher, that's what happens. But the only thing that I like to say is that I believe that the city council has been moving in the right directions. And part of that, we can see that not a lot of people are complaining, number one. And the let's say what I'd like to bring to the table would be the speed control, where we are situated, where the cross Y in between 92 and Rivertown Road. People come from the 92 coming down from like the Publix toward our direction, and they are really traveling fast. And just recently, we went to visit my husband's sister, my sister-in-law, and they had these speed bumps. I don't know how we would handle to get speed bumps somewhere in line to slow the traffic down, because with Fairburn, there's a lot of people who walk. You know, the bus goes right here to the city, and then from there, they have to walk. So my concern, which happens in Atlanta almost every day, someone getting hit. So that's my only desire, to maybe slow some of the traffic down. But I think you're doing a great job, and I know there's more good news and great things to come.
Thank you so much for your comment.
Thank you.
That concludes our public comment portion of our meeting. In this case, we'll actually now go to agenda item number 1.
The first item is the 2023 annual subscription under supplemental power supply policy with MEAG.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
On the agenda tonight, the Utility Department, specifically the Electric Division, is seeking approval of the 2023 annual subscription under supplementary power supply policy between Municipal Electric Authority of Georgia, which is MEAG, and the City of Fairburn. This is an annual agreement that the projections provide to us identified needs for both supplementary power and reserves this year. Supplementary power product reflects the volume of capacity with energy priced at the hourly market, while the reserve capacity product is the capacity price only. Fairburn has used this method for years to ensure that there is adequate power throughout the wintry months. Approval of this policy will designate MEAG as our agent to acquire any combination of resources to optimize our supplementary power supply requirements. At this time, staff recommends that the mayor and council approve the 2023 annual subscription under supplementary power supply policy between MEAG and the City of Fairburn, and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement for the City of Fairburn.
Members of council, you have before you a staff recommended action as just stated. Is there a motion?
So moved.
There's a second.
Second.
Any comments by council?
I have one question.
Go ahead, Mr. Heath.
Sir, I know that we, in the past, have purchased power from, I think, Griffin,
Yes.
and are we still getting their excess power, do you know of?
Not now. Usually, this is the first motion to do anything that allow them to be our designated agent to find these resources.
Okay, gotcha.
And as some of the cities have excess they know they're not going to use, we purchase those in which I'll be bringing back to council.
Okay, that's great, thank you.
Any other questions by members of council? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries.
Second item is a resolution authorizing execution of the Georgia Water and Wastewater Agency Response Network Mutual Aid Agreement.
Go ahead, sir.
The Water and Sewer Division of the Utilities is seeking approval of a resolution, mutual aid agreement between Georgia Water and Wastewater Agency Response Network, known as Georgia WARN, W-A-R-N, and the City of Fairburn to authorize the mayor to execute the same on behalf of the City of Fairburn. After Hurricane Katrina, it became apparent that even with the extraordinary efforts of utilities, water services, and associations, state regulatory agencies, the demand for resources and knowing where those resources were available overwhelmed the ability to efficiently coordinate the initial response. The WARN Mutual Aid Agreement was formed to share resources and assist each other in the event of emergencies that disrupt utility services. This is an agreement that is no cost to the city to participate and provides access to all member utilities statewide. This agreement is also consistent with the National Incident Management System, known as NIMS, who guides all levels of government, non-governmental organizations, and the private sector to work together to prevent, protect against, mitigate, respond to, and recover from incidents. This system was developed by the United States Department of Homeland Security in March 2004. At this time, staff recommends that the mayor and council approve the resolution and a mutual aid agreement between the Georgia Water and Wastewater Agency Response Network, known as Georgia WARN, and the City of Fairburn, and to authorize the mayor to execute the same on behalf of the City of Fairburn.
Members of council, you have before your staff recommendation was just stated. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second motion has been made. Any questions or comments by council?
I have a couple of questions.
Okay, that was
Mr. Smallwood.
Smallwood, Andy.
Any questions by members of council? Go ahead, Mr. Heath.
Yes, sir. Number one, we buy our water from the city of Atlanta at this time currently. But we're in the process of doing our own water, pulling out of Chattahoochee. Now, is any of this going to affect the ability to do that? Or, I mean, say for example, we're currently getting from Atlanta, but would this not affect Atlanta before it would affect Fairburn?
No, this is more of sort of mutual aid in between the cities, inside the city. Take, for instance, the electric, they have a mutual aid agreement. This is good that they have one for water, but usually using that mutual aid agreement, if you remember back here with Hurricane Ian, we had people from back down in Alabama, East Point, and all of them came together for the help and aid with the city. This is the same kind of agreement,
Okay.
but on the water side.
Gotcha. And so, so this will not have any effect on what we're trying to do with our own water authority?
No. Well, as a matter of fact, with the mutual agreement, with staff being permissible, we might have to help City of Atlanta if one of these ever happen, because I think they're members as well.
Thank you.
Any other member of the council has a question? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Next report will be the city administrator's report.
We're gonna
I didn't
skip
know
the,
if he's doing a finance report, so.
I'm trying to figure out, Mr. City Manager, are we gonna have a finance report, or you gonna wait till the next meeting?
We'll wait till the next meeting.
Okay.
As we're in transition with our finance director's position.
Okay?
Right.
We'll go to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and honorable members of council. I want to provide a few updates as part of the city administrator's report for this month. First, I'd like to begin with our fall festival. It was a wonderful, amazing day. Seeing so many of our residents and visitors from around the area in the city of Fairburn having a wonderful time, a day that literally went off without incident, and it was just a really wonderful time. But what I was probably most overwhelmed with was the performance of our staff. A day like that is not possible without the hard work of a lot of staff members. That was the comment I probably heard most frequently that day, was about the employees of the city of Fairburn and the job that they did. And I would speak longer than I have time allotted right now to tell you all the things that they did and how everyone stepped up. There were just case after case of folks going above and beyond their job descriptions. I think that speaks to the work culture that we're building in the city, that we try to treat people decently, and it's reflected in the fact that folks are willing to do things that, in all honesty, we're not always paying them to do. It's because they care about their jobs, they like what they do. I don't want to start singling out names because I'll leave too many people out. The one name I will mention is our point staff person who organized that entire event was Ms. Chapin Payne-Scott. She did an amazing job, and I don't think she slept for the 72 hours before that. If she did, it was only for a few hours here and there. She left on Friday night, probably around midnight. She was back in the city of Fairburn working by 3:30 a.m. on Saturday morning. And so she just worked herself to the bone. And she does that because of her work ethic. And so I just wanted to cite that. She's not the only one. There were a lot of employees who sacrificed and did a great job. So I am honored to work with such amazing staff. And I just want to highlight them for the work that they did. And they deserve a round of applause for all the hard work they put in. By means of update, the 2022 tax bills are now available. They're loaded, and they are on the city's website. So any Fairburn resident can go there and see their 2022 tax bill effective as of today. So that information is available. I wanted to provide that update. And there is an update to our drive-through window policy that I'd like Ms. Chris to provide.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. One of the changes we're implementing effective tomorrow is in an effort to provide the best customer service to our residents. We're asking that all new accounts for services, deposit payments, notary services, as well as tax payment be conducted inside City Hall, and that the only payments that will be taken at the drive-through window will be our utility bill payments. And this is just to ensure that we're respectful of our residents' time. I know last week a lot of us kind of left the building and there was a line wrapped around City Hall. And so we just want to make sure that those services that take more than, let's say, 5 minutes, that require a lot of detail, are done inside City Hall. And so this message will be posted on our website as well as at our boards and our social media.
Thank you, Ms. Chris. The next update is I want to thank Mayor and Council for their approval of our sidewalk art installation project. The first sidewalk, crosswalk installation, forgive me, was completed last week at the intersection of Southeast Broad Street and Southeast Malone, near the landmark Christian campus. You'll see on your screen what that crosswalk art installation looks like. The artist did a wonderful job. There are 3 others to come, so I just wanted to provide that update. All the comments we received so far have been very complimentary of our first art installation on crosswalks. Thank you for your approval of that project. Next, I'd like to remind everyone that our final third Friday concert of the season, our Halloween concert, is coming up on this Friday. We have a great evening planned for our Fairburn City and residents, featuring Milkshake and the 911 Band, along with several other performers. And so we encourage you to come out on Friday. The weather is Forecast is for a great evening with mild temperatures. It is our final third Friday concert of 2022. And so come and wrap up the season with us and have a great time for our Halloween concert on this Friday. Next, I'd like to provide an update on a very critical issue for the city of Fairburn and all cities in Fulton County, which is our local options sales tax negotiations that are currently underway. As many of you may be aware, and some citizens may not be aware, local option sales tax provides a way for cities to mitigate millage rate and be able to have a source of revenue that allows us to keep our millage rate at a reasonable level for our residents. About 42% of the sales tax revenue generated under local option sales tax comes from people outside of Fulton County. So that's revenue that normally would not be available. It allows us to fund cities and city operations pursuant to state law. So it's really key for budgets in cities and creates revenue that we all rely on in the 15 cities in Fulton County to be able to provide the services that cities are mandated to provide. This negotiation, I think the mayor mentioned in our last update, occurs every decade, every 10 years. We have been negotiating since early summer. The deadline is December 31st, but I would tell you that there are hopes of reaching an agreement in advance of that. As negotiations move forward, they tend to intensify, and that is the case here. There are a number of factors that are driving the negotiations now. We are meeting on almost a weekly basis with the other 15 cities. There is another scheduled negotiation with the county coming up in the very near future. I would tell you that the negotiations take place in all 159 counties in the state of Georgia, but those negotiations, though they have similar dynamics, play out differently in each county because the circumstances are different in each county. If you look at Fulton County, 20 years ago, they were negotiating this. At that time, the county serviced about 229,000 residents. About 28% of the county received their municipal services directly from the county. At that time, as you may recall, there was huge areas of North Fulton that were unincorporated, huge areas of South Fulton that were unincorporated. And so because of that, the city was providing those services and was getting about a 35% share of those local option sales tax. If you fast forward 10 years, that number had dropped from 229,000 to only 87,000 residents because Sandy Springs, Johns Creek, Milton, and eventually Chattahoochee Hills all incorporated. So now they had mayors and council like we do here in Fairburn, and so the city's population that they provided services for went from 28% of the county 10 years ago down to 9.5%. Well, after that 9.5%, the last large remaining unincorporated area of the county was what is now known as the city of South Fulton. So in the intervening 10 years, that number has dropped even further. So from 20 years ago, when the county serviced 28% of the population and got about 35% share of loss, today the county services 889 residents out of over 1.1 million. All of the rest of the residents in Fulton County live in the city, have a mayor and a council, police departments and fire departments that provide for their municipal services. The other reminder I would give you, so today, from 20 years ago and 28% of the population being serviced directly by the county, today that's less than 1%. It's 0.8% of the residents in Fulton County. And there's a small area around Charlie Brown Airport on Fulton Industrial that's still unincorporated. And there are about a little less than 900 residents there. Everything else in Fulton County is now a city. And so that has changed the dynamic significantly. Those negotiations are ongoing. They are intensifying. There's a lot of things that counties are charged with doing. There have been some recent hospital closings that have been impactful for all of us. That's an element and part of this negotiation. Some of that is allowable under local option sales tax, and the cities are recognizing that accordingly. But local option sales tax cannot be used for everything. State law mandates 14 specific services, most of which are provided by cities, that local option sales tax can be used for. And so it's not funding that you can simply take and then go, well, I'm going to add it to my general fund and use it for any purpose. State law prohibits that. So I won't get too far into a lot of the details of the negotiation because they still are ongoing. The cities have largely remained united. I think you heard that at the last update. That is not a small factor. It is a huge one. I think the mayor would tell you that 10 years ago that was not exactly the case. 20 years ago, my understanding is, Mayor Bodie in Palmetto, who was there then. That wasn't the case 20 years ago. So that is a unique element. We're hopeful that that will maintain, and there will be further updates forthcoming. I will tell you that though there are political aspects to this, we have to follow state law, and negotiations are ongoing. So with that, I will move on to the next update. For the month of September, we planned our ribbon cutting and grand reopening that recently took place for Cora Robinson Park and the Dodge Street Community Plaza. It was a wonderful event, and thank you for the council members who were able to join us for that event. In September, we also had our Hispanic Heritage Month concert on September 16th. It featured over 23 vendors with cultural foods, retailers, and artisans, and featured several performers, DJ Ortiz, and several others. It was a wonderful event enjoyed by the entire city. In September, we completed our FY 23 budget ordinance was established. We also completed our FY 23 millage rate as well. We had several members of our our fire department that attended the annual Ronnie Thames Silent Hero Awards banquet. It's a wonderful event that Councilman Whitmore made me aware of this year. Thank you for that, Councilman Whitmore. We had several firefighters that were nominated for that prestigious award. Just another signal of our fire department moving forward. They also, our fire department, attended the New Beginnings Senior Center as they fed all of our Fairburn seniors on September 30th. Chief Robinson is pretty good on the grill, as most of you may know. And so he hauled out his grill, and the seniors had a wonderful time that day, eating a lot of food prepared by Chief Robinson and the police, the fire department. Thank you for that. With that, I will pause to see if there are any questions in reference to the city administrator's report.
Does any member of council have questions about the report just given? All right, seeing none, I'll go to our city council comments, and I'll start, actually this time I'll start with you, Mr. Smallwood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to, it was said in the, by, Mr. Phillip, just, that parade was amazing. And, Fall Festival, just the comments I heard from just all of the residents about the fun they had, and myself, I had a great time. So, also, I had to send an email myself to Mrs. Scott now, not Ms. Payne, but Mrs. Scott, on her tirelessness. And I remember in 17 when I was running, I was in the parade, and she was doing the exact same thing. You can see she loves Fairburn, and just everybody, from Miss Chris, from all my people back there, to see them in their street clothes. I've been a part of a lot of organizations, and as you said, that's culture, just doing the things without being paid. That just spoke a lot to me about the culture that's being built at the city. So I was just thoroughly impressed, had a great time, and it just was amazing. And I know that we're building, that momentum will build, it will be even greater next year. But like I said, I just love that it was community, and that's what it was about. It's not about numbers or anything like that. It's about our community having a great time. And then I will close with take care. Everybody, take care of yourself. I've had a lot of people close to me, not a lot of people, but a few close people to me experience some hardships in their bodies and in their families. So I want to encourage all of us to ain't that serious. Whatever it is, make sure you take some me time, disconnect, and take care of yourself.
Yes, sir.
Right? Because that is really, really important. I'm gonna make sure I do mine, because I just joined 24/7 gym up there in Fairburn, and went this morning. I'm gonna take care of me, so you take care of you. That's me. All right.
All right, sir. Mr. Fallon?
You're a piece of work, buddy, so I
I don't speak a lot, but when I speak,
I know.
it's
Well,
like E.F. Hutton.
I know. He said it. What's interesting to me as I watch how we go day by day, week by week, is that it strikes me that we are truly headed in the correct direction. And this place is going to be a much more interesting place to be 5 years down the road. Be sure.
Okay, sir. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, I want to echo what both Councilman Smallwood and Palin has said about the Fairburn Fall Festival. It was fantastic, and I heard it over and over again all day, how much fun people were having at the festival. And I think what contributed to that was really about the attitudes. You know, I mean, the warmth, the caring, the checking in to see, I mean, it was just everywhere. And that made a difference. And so I want to shout out to the entire staff and employees of the city of Fairburn for a fantastic day. But I want to elevate in particular the street department, who they made sure things were clean. They were double checking to make sure. They were asking, you got any problems, any things we need to do? And so me, I have never experienced that, okay? So I was taken aback by it, and I truly appreciated it. So thank you. I just love the attitude that we have, that we care, that we are part of a team, that we really do have each other's back. And that's what showed. That's what showed. So thank you so much for that. I just wanted to ask Mr. Phillips about you in your report on the tax bill. Are they going to be mailed?
I will verify that they are going to be mailed. I know they're available currently on the website. I will have an answer for you by close of business tomorrow on the status of the mailing.
Yes, because not everyone is technologically savvy or want to, so please
Yes, ma'am.
make sure that they are being mailed. So thank you.
Okay, Ms. Davis?
Thank you, Mayor. I too want to collaborate with all of my council members that have spoken before me in reference to our staff. Not only at the festival, but also we had an event today to honor former Mayor Betty Hanna and dedicate her name on the building in our educational department area. I guess the best way that I can sort of say this to really make it feel intentional, and kudos to our administrator, assistant administrator, is that they had the vision, along with our mayor, who actually brought them in, had the vision to make an investment in our staff. And when I say investment, is to first and foremost acknowledge them, see them, honor them by respecting them. Investment in education, investment in the places where they work, investment in looking at the aligning the staff, the salary, the what they do. All of that is an investment. And when people feel like they are invested in, that you care, you see them, they will go miles and miles and miles from what they are being paid. They won't even think about it. And what was really on parade beside the parade was our staff at the festival. They were on parade. And I tell you, they did a fantastic job, and they always do a great job. And I'm just, there used to be a time. Actually, I mean, I wasn't so proud. Just to be honest and authentic, that's the only way I know how to be. But I am so proud of the city of Fairburn and the staff and what we're doing and how we're doing. I won't say that, but I'm excited. I'm just excited, and I just want to say thank you to everybody, you know, starting with the mayor. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And also my colleagues here on, you know, who also invested time and invest in each other and stuff. So I didn't mean to talk this long, but I'm just excited about what we're doing and where we're going.
Okay, Mr. Heath?
I'd just like to say that it's the simple things of life that seemingly bring us all together. And during the COVID-19 stuff, when we were not able to have the festivities as we did Saturday, it just seemed like everything was to a point of no return, to like what we had before. But I saw this past Saturday exactly what used to be many, many, many years ago, and everybody was having such a good time. And the simple fact, I met so many interesting people that walked up to me and said, we want to bring a business here to your city here. Restaurants and florists and stuff like that. And I got to thinking about it. For so long, it seems like our downtown area was deserted, and now, but it's starting to come back. It's starting to be a place that people that live here, work here, and play here can actually go out, have a nice dinner or lunch or whatever, right here in our city. And that to me speaks volumes. I just really appreciate, and the fact that we couldn't do it without our staff, but we certainly could not do it without our citizens supporting us at everything that we do. And I just want to say that I truly, truly am impressed, and I am thoroughly in love with this city. I've lived here all my life, and I just want to say thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Whitmore?
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of things. I echo my colleagues on the Fall Festival. It was an outstanding event. I enjoyed myself, especially towards the end, that prayer. My goodness, it gave me goosebumps. And then after that, being able to sing the song and have the citizens come up and just slap us five. I mean, that was really special. I really enjoyed that, and I think they did as well. Number two, I went on Friday night to help celebrate Reverend Cook's 10th pastoral anniversary. And as you know, he is one of our businesses that we have right here on Broad Street, Cook Funeral Home. And I just want to say to Mayor and also to our clerk, Ms. Brenda James, this was a last-minute thing that we requested the proclamation for him, but you delivered, and it was very much appreciated. It was a great event, and I was glad to be there. Number three, I had an opportunity to go and attend the first inaugural City Councilman of Georgia's event on yesterday, and it was about 27 plus councilmen there and a couple of councilwomen, but it was just the first inaugural, and the whole purpose of us getting together in the future is that we can all brainstorm off of each other and ensure that we have various laws that have been approved by mayor and council and on our books, so that we are consistent throughout the cities and not one city doing one thing and another city doing another. I think it's about time that we come together like that, and it was a big event. We actually had Congresswoman Nakima Williams there, as well as Dr. Rashad Ritchie, and that was a beautiful event. Number five, of course, Mayor Hannah. It was so great seeing her again, and I remembered her comments to me over 7 years ago, and I repeated it today during the ribbon cutting at the rededication. So it's good seeing a mayor that has put in her time and has accomplished the things that she accomplished while she was in public office. And fourth, everybody knows my history when it comes to recognizing Cancer Month. Everybody knows that my wife died of breast cancer. And I tell you, just to go into the utilities department today, had no idea that they produce such beautiful artwork that you see down here in front of us. And just to have that conversation, and it just brought back a flood of memories in reference to my wife. And also, it helped me to remember and recognize what Breast Cancer Awareness Month means to me. And, sir, if you can just go back to your staff tomorrow and just tell them I said thank you, because it really set a nice spot in my heart today just to see those pictures and remembering my wife. And last but not least, third Fridays, this is going to be the last one on this Friday. And the 9/11 ban has been put off for a couple of times because of the weather. So any of our citizens that are out there watching this tonight, please come on out. We're going to have a great time on Friday. It's the last concert of the year besides our Christmas get-together. But you don't want to miss it. You want to be there. Come on out, look out, and come on out and see Mayor and Council and staff. We will all be there and looking forward to seeing you. God bless.
Thank you, sir. In my comments, I'll just mention again without, in this case, I don't know if I can add to anything other than the staff's phenomenal come together. And ladies and gentlemen, again, as much as I would really, and I commend Ms. Scott, excuse me, for the job well done. Again, I don't have to tell anyone up here, but for our citizens, leadership matters. And in this case, your city administrator and your assistant city administrator and your city clerk played a critical role of a lot of what you saw between the staff and even from the Corvettes to the bands, the whole nine yards. Our staff, our managers played a major role in not only it being synchronized properly, but in this case, it actually being well represented in so many different categories. My sister actually took, while we're standing up above ours, took a photo of police cars, Fairburn police cars from one end to the other end of the city, which some kind of way I missed that after the parade, and it just the things, the level of collaboration and organization. I want to commend every city department, every city. We had a lot of men and women that work here in City Hall and in some of the departments that have nothing to do with streets, police, or fire, but they were just as critical in the success of what took place Saturday. And I just want to make sure all of our employees, again, the pride that I saw and the pride as a mayor and council to see other governments that were there commending us about our city staff. So again, I want to thank you, Mr. Phillips and Ms. Jamelia, and I just want to say again, thank all department heads for a job well done. Again, we've talked about the breast cancer. Mr. Whitmore segued into something that is very dear to me. You heard about the breast cancer. One of the things that I kind of pride myself on is a history behind it. It's been about 2 months ago, Mr. Phillips, I asked you, what are we doing for breast cancer month? I wanted it visible. I wanted it visible in-house and out. I was very proud to see our firefighters, you may have noticed, with the pink T-shirts on Friday, at the festival. Again, this is something that's very important to me. I want to again thank our recreation department that's going to actually put a 5K walk together for an area that is just, for whatever reason, is overlooked by a lot of people, but unless it hits home. But this is something that's so important. So please come out in our efforts to show the importance of breast cancer awareness. Again, you heard it mentioned earlier, one of the longest serving mayor of this city, Betty Hanna. We were proud to honor her today, 28 plus years. You don't stay in any position 28 years by accident. That just doesn't happen. And so again, I want to commend her for her, that campus that you see. There was a vision that was birthed out of her administration from the former city manager, Jim Williams, and Mayor Hanna. And so we commend her for her service. This Friday, please join us again as we honor the first African-American elected official in the city of Fairburn, Ms. Frankie Arnold, at Courtyard is named in her honor. Again, please join us as we give honor what honor is due. I want to also mention, I want to thank Mr. Smallwood for something he helped us with, and again, our city clerk played, again, I don't know the way to put it, that experience matters. Monday morning, when at early voting, Mr. Smallwood gave me a call, I guess it must have been right at 8 o'clock, and indicated to me that the referendum item was missing on the ballot. And so, long story short, the city clerk, between Monday and Tuesday, I know made at least close to 15 calls, and that's no exaggeration, back and forth with Fulton County all day. And because of the, again, experience matters, in case having a city clerk in this case that actually knew the people of the state of Georgia to call to create an apparatus that now I want to make sure everyone hears me clear. When you go to the polls for the city of Fairburn, if you're voting early, you will get 2 cards. You will vote for the up and down ballot, then you'll vote for the referendum. The referendum in this case is Sunday sales. And so I want to make sure, again, I thank Mr. Smallwood for bringing that to my attention because we were able to jump on it again. The city clerk, and I'll let you speak on it right after. And I want to thank the city clerk again for her knowledge of just who to pick up the phone and call. And we didn't spend a bunch of time talking about who's at fault. That doesn't matter at this point. At this point, it was missing on the ballot, and then I believe by the end of Tuesday, we had an apparatus, and plus the people will get a notice to come back to the polls. Okay, and so in this case, if you voted on Monday for the city of Fairburn election, the actual city government of Fairburn, you will get a notice, Mr. Smallwood. It just indicated he got one to come back to the polls to vote on the referendum. And again, that's a very important vote for us. We're going to let the mayor and council decide. We will let the people decide as it relates to what the Sunday sales can do for our government in this case. I think I've covered it all. Last but not least, want to just really commend I've gotten several people residents that make it a point to call City Hall every week and come on, groan and complain about something. And so the part that I'm excited about, I don't, and how the city manager doesn't have a drinking problem yet, I don't know, but the thing that I'm very proud of is that he and the department heads have been able to answer customer service calls. That's the thing I'm hearing. We may not be able to get the answers we wanted, but we've been able to get a return phone call. I'm talking about in a lot of cases under 24 hours, and someone actually listening and actually trying to address it. And I want to commend our city staff, all our department heads in this case. And that's something we take for granted as members of council, but that's something that I can truly say between the city administrative assistant and all the department head, that has become center stage. We may not be able to address your concern, but the one thing you won't be able to say is that you didn't hear from us. And so I want to thank our city staff for that. And with that being said, I do believe, I'm sorry, Mr. Smallwood, did you want to help?
No, that's all I was saying. I did get my notice from Fulton County, letting me know that I can return and cast that vote, even though I had cast my vote on Monday.
Gotcha.
Let me just toss this in the mix as long as we talk about it, because I went back on Wednesday, I was in and out in about 5 minutes.
Okay, great.
Walk in, gave me the form, I filled it out, boom, boom, boom. It was one machine, okay, just for that particular vote, and I was in and out in 5 minutes. Okay.
Very organized.
Very, very organized. And again, in this case, I actually have to commend Fulton County for, in this case, an oversight that they was more than willing to help correct quickly. And so, you know, again, give honor where honor's due. The relationships that we've had with Fulton County in this case and paid dividends as a result of us being able to get that addressed in less than 24 hours. And so, with that being said, well, we have an executive session. If I'm correct, is that a litigation matter, Ms. Noel? The litigation matter. Is Rory still on Zoom? I want to make sure I get. Yeah, I just want to make sure it's a litigation matter, correct?
Briefly, it seems like this is deja vu. Seems like I may have briefed y'all on this, but out of an abundance of caution, we need to talk about it.
Hold up, Mr. Stewart, hold up, Mr. City Attorney. We're not in the executive session yet. You ready to roll? Okay. I'm just trying to make sure. Can I just confirm? Can I just confirm it is a litigation matter? That's what I want to make sure.
Yeah, we need to go in executive session.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I wasn't gonna start talking about it.
Oh, okay. Can I entertain a motion to go into executive session for a personnel and litigation matter?
So moved.
Second.
The motion is made and properly second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Yeah,
Smallwood,
you said what?
that Howland too?
It was actually, I think, Mr. Heath. It then Mr. Heath.
Smallwood,
Second.
Heath, okay.
Yeah. Sir, normally, because again, the public comment section is actually in the beginning of the meeting. And I'll make this one exception, but you have to make it real brief because technically.
I've been here 20 years when I retired from the Air Force, and I came there that they handled there. And from there to now, I just want to commend you and the city council, what I feel when I come to these meetings.
Yes, sir.
I feel such love and peace and unity. And I just wanted to say that. And I'm really proud of how the city is progressing with the beauty and the steadiness of it all. I just wanted to thank you all.
Yes, sir.
Thank
so
you,
much.
thank you, Pastor.
All right, and so at this point, we've already made an adjourn. In this case, our meeting is over. and we'll go into executive session in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back in the open meeting, and so can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
It's second by Mr. Heath. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, good night.
Good night. Good night, good night.
Linda, you are the first to